Hey, what's up guys? My name is Knomo, and in today's video I wanted to show you how you can make some very pretty color-basy sort of sounds only using Serum 2 and the new Note on Random discrete feature inside of Serum 2 with no external plugins, like no extra chords, no other plugin instances of Serum, no chroma, no plug data, none of that, just Serum 2. So yeah, this is the sound. And all I used for that sound was only Serum 2 with some post-processing, nothing more really. I just put some multiband compression, OTT, and an EQ on it, and just mixed it in slightly, and that was basically it. But the main sound comes from Serum 2. So yeah, let's go through this one by one. I already turned off everything so we can like go through this. So the first thing I always do when I sound design is I pick a wavetable. I downloaded like some packs with some really cool wavetables some time ago, and I don't even know where I got these from. I just downloaded them and I had them. So sorry, I can't tell you the source, unfortunately. I just picked a wavetable, offset the phase a little bit, and turned up the detune. Then I started using this new feature, Note on Random Discrete, as you can see here. So if you right click, go on mod source, and then Note, and on notes on random discrete, what this does basically is every time you hit a new note, a new random value is selected so that you get a lot of variation very quickly within the same sound. So as you can hear, there's like lots of morphing. I took an envelope, turned on the sustain, turned up the release and attack a little bit, and also put a note on random on the decay here. Yep, and I think it goes from 170 milliseconds to something like 500 or something. This sort of guarantees that every time you hit a chord, I just have like a chord in the key of F minor playing here. Every time a new chord is hit and new notes are being played, random values for these notes are generated that then modulate different parameters inside of Serum 2. I turned down the detune a little bit and also put a note on random discrete on this, and just like shrunk the range. The detune goes from I think 0.04 to like 0.19 or something. So that sort of like jumps around and is a little less detuned and a little more detuned. Then I panned this oscillator 10 to the right. And I also put note on random discrete on here. Also on the level. And then I just basically shrunk the range of these. So if we go over to the matrix section and we search for the parameters of oscillator A, you see I put this on A level. It goes from -8 to -4.3 decibels. I also did this for oscillator B and C, but we're going to get to these in a bit. I did this for the panning. It goes from -15 left to -10 left. And for oscillator B, I just panned it a little bit to the right and had it go from 10 right to 15 right. So it's immediately very wide and has a very interesting stereo image. So to get this sort of watery sound, I have like a sample and hold. So this is basically randomizing LFO. Then I basically just put this LFO on the wavetable position where the note on random discrete already is on a detune. And it gave me this very like watery sort of sound. So that's very nice to work with. Already sort of sounds like you'd add some like spectral sort of sounds to this, like using plug data or something. And then I have oscillator B an octave up, also with the same features as oscillator A. So turn up the unison all the way, put the note on random discrete on the wavetable position, and also have this LFO, randomize it some more. Then do the same thing for the detune and the panning as I showed you earlier. I offset the phases here, so it's like very wide and they sort of fuck with one another. So yeah, that's very nice. And then I have oscillator C, which is basically just adding some more tonality to it. This time I just picked a standard triangle wave, put it up an octave and a fifth, put it on 10 unison, 0.05 detune, and blend all the way up. And this time also no phase or randomization, just very basic. Then I also put this note on random discrete feature on the level, as I showed you earlier. Then I added some noise, just some pink noise, and I also put the feature on here again and I shrunk the range a little bit, so it goes from like -20 decibels to like -15 decibels using this modulation in the matrix section. I just need to find it now. That's the hard part. Like I said, -22 to -15. Then I added some filter, and I also have just oscillator A running through this filter, which basically just gives it a little more texture and shapes the tone and the sound a little bit more. I also put the feature on the cutoff here again, so it goes from, I think, 425 hertz to like 2000. Then I just have this mix in slightly with this randomized LFO, so it keeps coming in and out. Then I added a second filter, also just having oscillator A run through this, basically with the same settings as with filter 1. I just put the feature on the cutoff here again, but this time I mixed it all the way and didn't have this LFO sort of have it come in and out. So now it already sounds like this. But yeah, as you can see, my CPU does not like this. So let's get to the part that's actually very interesting to the sound and where it's sort of getting shaped from. So if we go over to the effects section, I have like lots of different effects on here, but the main and really important one is the convolver. Basically what the convolver does, it sort of puts it in a room. I think I imported some convolution response from Chime, from some pad, that's also in the key of the chords that I laid out here, so F minor. Then I increased the size to 150 and turned down the tone to -18% and put this feature on here again. So it goes from -18 to +18%. No pre-delay, no attack, damp at 83%. And I put the decay to 154 milliseconds and then also put this feature on here. So this sort of gets randomized too. I think it just goes from 150 milliseconds to like 500 or something. Then I turned up the IR gain to 3 decibels and have this mixed in fully and turned down the volume because it gets really, really, really loud. And I'm not gonna play this here because it's gonna jump your ears, which maybe you don't want. Then I added some hyper that's basically just coming in with these envelopes. Just to give it a little more room, I added a phaser that also gets its frequency shifted with this envelope. And it's getting randomly mixed in with this feature again from like 25% to I think 75 or something. Then I added a soft clip distortion. I put the feature on here as well, so it gets like a different volume every time. Then I added some multiband compression, so it sounds normal again and doesn't fucking jump your ears or something. Set on -14 decibels with 6.3 decibels input gain. And I also turned up the upward compression. Have it mixed all the way in. Then I added some chorus to give it like more room with these settings. Like the depth all the way up, the feedback all the way down. Also give it some randomness. Oh no, this time I actually don't have an edge, it's just an envelope that sort of mixes it in. It's the second envelope with a very short decay that mixes these in. Then I also added an equalizer at 3105 hertz with a Q of 43 and turning down the volume 4 decibels. And then I just give it a little bit more high end. Then I added some reverb that basically comes in every time the sound sort of stops on the nitrous setting with like 70 low, 100 high, 44% size, no pre-delay, 64% diffusion, 105 feedback, and the mode on marble. And just gave it a little more chorus depth. And then I added a final equalizer that just takes away the low end, so it's doesn't sound like scuffed or anything. And now we should have a beautiful color bass sound. But if you wanna record it still, you can add an audio track here, go on resampling, and then just have this sent to 3 audio, and then you can just record it like this. Okay, now we can take this over here and listen to it without it fucking everything up. So yeah, that's basically it. That's how I made this very beautiful color bassy sort of sound. And now the cool thing about this is first you can just change the wavetables, so you can get immediate variation like instantly. And then you can also just put in a different sample here. So for example, we could change the key of this. Let's take it down to D sharp minor, like this. And then we can put in like a different convolution IR. And there's like maybe in my pack, I will also include some convolution responses. I've made some old ones, but these don't really sound that great. So yeah. Oh, I have one for D, so I'm just gonna put this in here and turn it to D minor. Okay, and now let's check out the sound. Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, but you can definitely do better with like better convolution responses here. If you put in samples that have like a little tail or have some things going on in the high end. Wait, let me pick a sample real quick. Okay, let's just put this in here. This is from a pack from Chime and Ace Aura, the Melodic Rhythm Volume 2, and gets lots of color-based sounds only using Serum 2. And if you wanted to post-process this now, what I would do is I would definitely put some standard multiband compression, like mix this in slightly, probably put some OTT on it, also just mix it in slightly. Then I would probably pick another EQ and some compression. And just turn down these settings a little bit. And now you have a sound like the one in the pack. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna give this preset away for free. You can do with this what you want. If you want to use it, just write down some chords in the key you like, and then import an impulse response into the convolver here. And you can also mess with the settings here, like set the size to like 100 or 50 or 200. Yeah, you can have lots of fun with this. All right, so that's about it. The next video will be about the pack I made, which is basically consists of a lot of different sounds. I'm probably gonna sell this and make a free version that everybody can use with like some samples of this ginormous pack in here. I don't even know what the size is. It's probably pretty big now. But yeah, that's about it. So see ya.